The Gill family have been in the amusement industry for over 100 years and across 5 generations. GPL Amusements operates at all the major shows on the east coast of Australia, from Cairns to Melbourne. Doyle and Jennifer Gill pride themselves on years of satisfying customers and providing fun and entertainment to families all around the country. I sat with Doyle during the recent industry conference known as Alara, so there is a little background noise. His is truly a fascinating story, and one I know you're going to enjoy. Here we go. So here we are back again for another episode of Park Life, and I'm sitting down right now with Doyle Gill from GPL Amusements, and that's a brand name I've been hearing for a number of years, Doyle, so I've been aware of the brand within the industry. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what GPL is, just to kick us off?
GPL Amusements is first most travel and amusement company. Me and my wife started it maybe 10 or 11 years ago, the company. So we've worked together to build up a business. We got a couple of major rides travelling around Australia. We've got a set of bumper cars in the night quarter up on the Sunshine Coast with some games. And we do we travel with games as well and some kids rides. So that's essentially what GPL Amusements is. Me personally, I'm 5th generation in the industry. So my great grandparents come out from the UK as musicians and stilt walkers and just street performers, and gradually sort of things changed. They went to circus, evolved from circus to the show life, and show life back in their day was tent shows, variety shows where they'd have musicians and snake pits, reptile shows, the bearded lady.
This is fascinating, just in that space.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started to become aware of that history?
Very young. My grandfather would talk to me. I can't really put a age on it, but very young. He always spoke about his childhood and his life growing up, which is very different from what we're used to today.
Did that captivate you as a kid?
I would much rather be back then. Even to this day, without the luxuries we have, because they live very, very tough with no money. But they would camp, travel town to town, park on a riverbank, live off the land, and go and perform in town and travel to the next town.
For the love of performance?
That's what they done, yeah, they loved it. And it was not for money, because there was no money. They lived, just to eat, barely. Yeah, they loved what they done, and my grandfather was also, he had some different shows. Billy the pig with the world's biggest pig with a golden tooth. He used to paint the tooth gold.
That's fantastic.
The world's shortest pony, where he would put the pony in the pit, dig a hole in the ground, fill it with straw, so the pony looked shorter than what it actually was. And these are stories that and the snake pit. My father, because it sort of changed from tent shows to rides in his generation when he was younger, but he still worked in this reptile show and snake pit and performed. There's photos of him performing on stage.
There are.
They're all, they played banjos, and my great grandfather's show had, Slim Dusty.
Yes, of course.
He performed in his tent show, and he actually wrote a song about him. Johnny Foster, old time travelling showman. That he wrote a song about my great grandfather.
That's fantastic. Wow. Growing up with all that history and heritage.
Yeah.
When did you feel like that's going to be something that draws you in? Did you ever feel like my path won't be this path, or did you naturally feel?
I could see that. My personality, I'm not a performer. I'm someone that's sitting over there watching someone perform. So, but I did love the stories, and the industry. It's what I wouldn't be in any other industry. Maybe it's because it's all I know, or maybe it's all that I want to do. I'm not sure, but I don't think about anything else or want to do anything else besides what we're doing. I did go away for a while when I was early 20s, I done backpacking, travelled through Europe, maybe because I was getting a little bit stale with it, the same thing, and I didn't want to not experience anything else in my life, from child to, retirement, without going away. And essentially, when I went and travelled and worked overseas, I worked at the carnival, so I don't.
You can't escape it.
Didn't escape it, no.
How long were you backpacking through Europe?
Over 4 years, just through periods, like 3 months at a time.
What was the highlight of some of that time?
Well, there's the highlight there, right there. That's Jennifer. She's
sitting right opposite us.
I met not in Europe, but I met her in America. So
what a beautiful answer, and that obviously changed your life.
It did, yeah.
When did you each then discover this might be a journey you could take together within the industry? Was that fairly natural?
Well, I was working for a company named RCS. They travel in California, Arizona, and through Texas. Probably the best carnival in America. Maybe not the biggest, but definitely the best, the most professional. And her brother works with them, so I knew him first, and so I worked on and off with them for 4 years. And we met Jennifer at someone's wedding.
That's very romantic, can I just say to both of you? It's very romantic.
Yeah.
She's rolling her eyes and laughing, but it's...
And so we worked out there for 12 months. And while it was great and very professional, and I learned a lot from the experience, but there's nothing like running your own business. So I think we decided to come back to Australia. We had more opportunities here because we can just go straight into our own business, which was, connected to my family's business, but we went straight into our own business and went straight to work. And we've grown from running to just games to what we've got now, which we're proud of.
Can we go back when you say when you kicked off you were running just 2 games? What, for those that don't know what that means, what does that mean?
I'm sure everyone knows a catch-a-duck game. Everyone's been to a fair or a amusement park, and we just had a catch-a-duck and a basketball game.
Wow.
And just through the experience that we've taken from travelling to Europe, working at a carnival over there, any experience I gained there, any experience that I had in the US working, and what I've learned at home, we put it together, and our company grew fairly quick, I think. Yeah.
So these were kind of the first 2 assets that you were showcasing.
Yeah.
And then in what kind of time frame did that start to expand? Did growth come pretty easily and quickly?
We bought a Ghost Train from the US.
Great.
Within probably 2 years of just working together back at home. And then maybe another 2 years we bought another major ride, an Alien Abduction. So our growth was, over 10 years was, I think, pretty strong.
When you make those decisions, again, for people that don't appreciate, they kind of take for granted they turn up to a location where these attractions are on display, and they take for granted what goes on behind the scenes to make those things happen. When you're looking at something like Alien Abduction or a purchase out of the States, what kind of process do you follow in terms of making sure that that's a decision that's going to be the right one for your business? Are you looking to see what other competitors are doing, or what informs your choice?
Yeah. So it's definitely, watching what's happening on the carnival. You get a feel for what people enjoy, and also what hole there is in the market, what there isn't at that time. Whether the industry needs a family ride, a thrill ride, a kiddies ride, whatever holes in the market at that time, and coming to like a Lara or IAPA in America, seeing whatever's it's new in the industry too. So, and a feel like when I said I'm going to buy an Alien Abduction, which is a Gravitron, which is a ride that's been in the industry for 30 or 40 years.
I remember riding it in high school as a kid in Townsville.
Everyone said you're mad because the older ones out there had died down, whether it's the appearance of them or just they weren't popular. So we bought one that was themed Alien Abduction, a new theme, new lights, put TV cameras on the outside.
Has a story.
And put fiberglass props, made it look more like probably a theme park ride. It was themed to a park.
That would have been at the Ekka about 2-3 years ago?
Been there for the last 5 or 6 years.
One of the great memories I have, we've been doing the Ekka as a family. I've got 3 kids for years.
Yeah.
And one of their first ride experiences together was the Gravitron.
Yeah.
Because they could all do it together, and it was alien abduction.
Yeah.
And I remember telling them about my journey on it when it was called Gravitron for me.
Yeah.
And I loved the fact that the screens were on the outside. And I can still remember that was a great, simple innovation, that then the parents could share the experience of watching the kids
100%.
have that experience. And as the kids are coming out and excitedly telling you about it, you're sharing it because you've witnessed it with them.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that was a really lovely innovation.
And also creates, because on the Gravitron, if you're just standing there watching a big fiberglass thing spin around, there's no atmosphere on the outside.
Very good.
Putting the TVs there creates atmosphere to the outside.
Brings people in.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. When you get to the point that you're at now, how many assets are you moving around at any one time from one location to the next?
Just 2.
Right.
2, the Gravitron and the Soundwave, which is I don't know if you have any English listeners. It's the Waltzer from the UK. They're very popular in England. So two that we travel with. Yeah.
And what does a year look like for GPL? I know the last 2 years, the whole world went upside down. But as we start to reheat, what does a 12-month calendar traditionally look like for your business?
Where I think it'll be as good as any year we've ever had. I think people want to come out. I think last year was looking to be definitely our best year ever, until August when all the lockdowns started again, and we were set up at the Ekka and it got cancelled 3 days or 4 days before the show started.
You're the second person I've asked this question of for the season of Park Life that we're in. I want to ask you, and I don't expect you to go into the specific detail, but what does it do to a business of your scale when you're set up, you've got all that investment into the setup, you're ready to go, and then it stops and it's a strip down? There is no revenue made on the setup to get a return on those costs.
Yeah.
How do small businesses survive blows like that? And obviously some small businesses can't.
Yeah.
How do you absorb that hit in order to come back?
We'd done the North Run route before then. We'd done all the shows up in the Cairns, and for us personally, they were the best they've ever been. So we had a little bit of money banked away.
Great.
And it was just flat. It was eerie tearing down. I was never, it's in the day. Normally you start tearing down that night and everyone's sort of hyped up a bit after working from the day, and we get into it, do a little bit that night, the next day you finish off. But we just start in the morning and everyone's just sort of really numb and I don't really think it's about the money. Well, for me it wasn't. I didn't feel that anyone taking any money away from me, or I missed what we're going to earn there. It was just sort of a bit flat in general.
How's the bounce back been as we come back, as things start to return? Have you got a better sense of confidence?
I can't see why there would be a close down again. I don't predict it happening, and I can't see a reason for it to happen. So I've got a sense of confidence that Brisbane will be the best show I've done there, and all the rest, because they haven't had a show for 2 years, the Ekka. Adelaide hasn't had a show for 2 years, and Melbourne hasn't had a show for 2 years.
It's unprecedented.
Yeah. So I think when we get there and get open, I think it'll be really, really good. I think people want to come out. There'll be 2 years of just built up enthusiasm for the show.
How do you keep your drive when you move through adversity? It's one of the themes in the podcast that we talk to with people in the industry, is when you hit those tough times and those winter seasons, for want of a better phrase, how do you maintain the marathon and push through those valleys when you're in them?
Jennifer will laugh when I say this. I don't have too many valleys, but I don't have too many highs. I'm pretty, you know what I mean? I don't think the worst of the situation, but I probably don't find the best in that situation either.
You're in the middle.
In the middle somewhere. So I don't. I don't. It doesn't affect me. Is what I'm trying to say. Is what I mean.
But that's a gift.
Well, I think it is. She doesn't agree.
I think it's a gift.
Yeah.
I tend to be at the higher end of eternal optimism.
Yeah.
Sometimes to a fault, but you can have unrealistic optimism as well. I think that midline is often a good, safer place to be.
I'd say I'm a lot more optimistic than pessimistic on anything. I think always, even if the outcome's bad, I still can find some good in it.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
I think that, yeah. That's how I feel. Anyway.
If you had to look back, I'm sure there's many moments. Can you remember a moment of real pride in your career where you were maybe just observing something, or you were present in a moment where you thought consciously, this is a good day, and I'm proud of this?
What just come to mind then, I'm sure there's lots of things, but we just finished the Sydney show, and the sound wave there it's really busy, and it takes a lot of staff to process to get, because we're only on 12 days where we've got to be able to get people in, get them off the ride safely, as well as being fast, because that's where we make our monies. So this year we got a really good system of training people, that our loaders were working really good. As the ride was stopping, we were letting people off, they were leaving, people were coming up, getting on the ride, and it just flowed really good. So we probably got our one of our biggest number of riders through in one day than we've ever had. So there's probably a lot more than that, but that's what just come to mind when you asked me.
Yeah, that's a big achievement though, with getting throughput, efficiency.
Yeah, and safety first.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Another thing, every time we set up, and when you do a review after, whether we do Maryborough is on this weekend or Sydney, if you feel like you've done your best that week, the best you can do, that's all you can ask for, is that you're happy with the job you've done. And if you're not, then you learn from it.
If I could ask you, do you know why you do this work?
Why?
Why you do it?
I probably can't give a real romantic answer on it.
Doesn't need to be romantic.
I do it. I've always done it. It's what I know, and I do enjoy it, and it's profitable for us. We live a good lifestyle, so the money's good, but you do get enjoyment out of not only entertaining the people, because we ride kids from 120 centimetres, so they're kids, and they come on and they just love the sound wave. They get off with the biggest smiles.
A lot of those rides are a rite of passage into your adulthood.
Yeah.
I remember when my kids did the Echo a few years ago, there was one particular thrill ride, and I can't recall it, but my eldest son went on that, and he was so nervous, he walked past it and said, I wouldn't mind going on that later today, Dad.
Yeah.
I said, well, do you want to jump on it now? Oh, we'll come back.
Yeah.
We'll just do other things and maybe we'll come back.
Yeah.
So we did other things, and he was trying to build the confidence to do it. And then when he did do it and come off it, again, doesn't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And it was almost like this rite of passage, I've now conquered that fear. I think that's a big part of the appeal with that experience for kids, is that rite of passage, which is a wonderful thing. When you look ahead, what do you think the future is for GPL going forward into the coming 3 to 4, 5 years?
I think we'll probably reinvest into 1, possibly 2 more rides, and not knowing really know what they are yet, but reinvest and then just keep doing what we're doing. We need to expand in the business. I don't want to be a multinational or anything like that, but as long as we're still doing a good job with a couple more rides, we'll grow in that direction.
Do you think there's another generation in the Gill family to pick up in time ahead?
I've got 2 daughters.
How do they feel about?
They love it. That's all they want to talk about. All they want to do is come out with their dad on the weekends and do the shows. But will they be in it? I'm not sure. They definitely can be, but they're going to have an opportunity to do other things as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. One question I tend to ask people as we wrap up: what gets you out of bed, gets you coordinating all those logistics, gets you to have that headache of hopping around from state to state? What motivates that and drives you?
Yeah. So yeah, the goals are, I enjoy the operation of the ride. I enjoy, like you said, put the procedures in to have the ride set up and to entertain the people. The other goals are, we want to financially put ourselves in a situation when I am 60 or 65, I don't have to be out there doing it if I don't want to.
Yes.
If we want to, that's fine. But in the industry, there's no superannuation at all. The rides in 20 years are probably not going to be worth very much. So we're looking to invest in property or any other means of retirement. So that's a big thing, to set up, the family and, make sure the kids have got a good future.
It's interesting, isn't it? You suddenly arrive to that point in your life where those are the thoughts you're having, and you didn't kind of plan on getting there, but you start to do the math and go, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
10 years I'm there.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I know.
But I think in your 20s you feel like, I've got forever.
Okay.
I can burn years.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you get to the point where you're counting the years.
No, it's down. Like I'm 42, so it's,
you're a baby.
20 years.
I'm 52.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm a little further along, and I'm probably not thinking as well as you already are.
No.
So maybe you could buy me lunch. I'm running a little thin.
I can buy lunch. Yeah. Yeah. No, I can.
Hey,
I got a tab over there at the resort. I cancelled a night, so I've got $160 credit. So I'll shout lunch.
I'm glad you told me.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been terrific, mate. Thank you for agreeing to sit down and share some of your journey on park life. This is exactly the kind of story that I was hoping to capture at the Alara event, because they're real stories of people that are out there doing the heavy lifting, and a lot of people that go in and have the joy in experiencing your attractions don't often know what goes in behind the scenes to make that moment happen.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that today.
No, thank you. This is the first time I've I think ever been recorded speaking, so I'm glad I did it. I feel good for doing it. So
great.
Thank you.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate, review and share. It all helps in spreading the word. You can also find me now at parklifestories@gmail.com. Wherever you are in the world, keep safe and well. See you next time.